Severe tropical storm Kompasu, also known as Maring in the Philippines, still a very potent storm system. Winds right now, the center of circulation actually dropped down by JMA, down to 85 kilometers per hour from 95, pressure at 980 hectopascals. But as I've been saying for days now, it is not about the wind with this one. It is about the rainfall. There's just been a torrential amount of precipitation, over 500 millimeters in parts of northwestern Luzon across the mountains here. La Union has been seeing flooding out there into Baguio in the higher elevations. Also the lower Cagayan River, serious flooding there from Apari towards the north. Not to mention the Maga Dam is releasing water by 3 p.m. this afternoon, so some artificially induced river level rises as well expected in our forecast here. Good news, at least by 3 p.m. the bulk of the rainfall will start to taper off, but with the river levels already high in saturated grounds, that for sure is not going to be helping out at all. As Kompasu moves towards the west too, it is expected to tighten up just a bit more and expected to continue to strengthen up to typhoon status as it approaches Hainan and into Vietnam as well. At least for now, Signal Force 2 still is in place across northern portions of Luzon here, basically the northern half of Isabela, Cagayan, back towards the west into the valley, and of course northwestern Luzon on top of that. So here's a look at some of the main points. At least one death has been reported at this time. Severe flooding naturally is taking place with those rainfall reports over 500 millimeters in Baguio. This is what it looks like there. Yeah, somebody asked, is that a bus? I think that might be a jeepney, but that sure looks like a bus right over there, underwater at this time out there. Not to mention Benguet, very famous spot for the terraces there. They've had some serious flooding. This out of Cagayan too, the MDRMO sharing this, and some water rescues, people having to get across a stretch there, plus a strawberry farm. Maximo shared this out, and he said, you know, a strawberry farm taking a big hit out there in Benguet as well. That's in a very mountainous terrain on top of that. And then this in the lower Cagayan, alert levels with evacuations have been issued out there. So once again, I've said it multiple times. The wind, of course, damaging. Downed trees have been reported out here, but it's all that inflow on the backside of this. Models have handled this storm system superbly, by the way. Absolutely. If you've watched, go back and watch my updates from like 5 days ago. The models have absolutely been on top of this storm system and handling it fantastic. So that's some good news there. Unfortunately, it's handled it very well to the point where, yeah, we have had that flooding. The entire Cagayan Basin under a flood watch right now, but those flood warnings are already taking place into northern areas of the basin as well. So let's go hour by hour with our forecast here. That's what's going on. Let's look at the track and the current warnings in place. This is that model I am raving about here with the ECMWF. It has been a very complex system. It still is. I mean, you have to remember, this isn't just your typical, you know, low-level center, very tight. It's a monsoonal gyre, meaning it's absolutely broad circulation, over 1,000 kilometers across, back towards Taiwan. Heavy rainfall warnings in place. They have red level, their highest levels there. Same towards northern areas of Luzon. And then you look back towards Baguio, like I said, over 500 millimeters reported out there, Pangasinan. And even Manila, breezy conditions are being funneled up the bay here this morning with scattered showers. You're actually kind of seeing the worst of it because the winds are coming right off of the coast into the NCR there. As we look ahead through this afternoon to the evening, though, pulling back the picture, this is by 10 p.m., you start to see conditions dry out here, but still down towards southwestern Luzon, Mindoro. You're actually still getting in on this because there's that feeder band that's creeping on through, swirling around here, and running into Taiwan on top of that. This is just a monster of a low pressure system here with that banding coming in, not to mention the low level center itself moving there into Hainan and eventually over towards Vietnam, which, by the way, they had Lion Rock just a few days ago that impacted out here, and it brought some flooding. So just all sorts of impacts. By the way, this is that extremely torrential rainfall warning I was talking about into northeastern Taiwan out there, just because of that inflow coming around from our storm system and kicking off, and it's just all part of that just monsoonal giant here. So I really do hope everybody is staying safe out there. The good news as we go ahead through Tuesday, yeah, there is still more rainfall, especially down here towards the south. Davao, of course, going to see it, even Cagayan de Oro. Cebu, I still think we're going to see some thunderstorms out there, and even over towards Tacloban, because this is where, see our particles, this is where some of the heavier of the precip is going to be here on Tuesday as things start to lighten up a little bit by this evening for northern areas of the Philippines. But at least for now, the West Coast still seeing the showers through the morning. Heading into the afternoon, though, it is going to start to break just a bit out there. But this is showing by 12 p.m. Yeah, still heavy from the mountains towards the West Coast. Metro Manila, afternoon thunderstorms Wednesday, Thursday. Friday might get a little bit less, but a little bit cooler too at 27 degrees. But then more storms wrapping in by the weekend. As always, I can't stress this enough. And I do see a lot of other YouTubers on here. I'm watching you guys, and I think there's a lot of good sources of good information out there. And there's a few, maybe one of these times I'm going to share some of the ones I am liking out of the Philippines. There's a few guys that are actually doing a pretty good job. Always, though, know those official sources. There is me. I am a qualified meteorologist, obviously. I've been doing this well over 10 years. I have a very nice setup here, but I am still a guy in his spare bedroom, basically, in an office. Pagasa, the way people critique them, regardless of how you feel about them, I think they're doing a fantastic job, and they have a whole team of meteorologists on top of it. So know your official sources, and always listen to what they have to say, especially with those evacuation orders as well. In a situation like this, too, when you're not just talking about the center, but there's a lot of dynamics, and it's a very complex setup on top of that. By the way, of course, I'm watching Kompasu, but there is also our other storm. It's a fish storm pulling towards north. Might impact the Ogasawara Islands eventually, but yes, I know that is there. I am keeping an eye on that. Of course, all eyes have been on our mooring out here, Kompasu. This one not going to be named by Pagasa. It's going to stay well out of the Philippine area of responsibility. As always, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. If you like these updates, hit that like and subscribe button, please, please, please. And another thing is check us out on Patreon. I know I ask that a lot. I know a lot of people that are being impacted by this, you don't have money to spare. But if you do, and you do like these updates, you want to keep them going, you can just donate $2 a month. It does help. It really does, because the equipment, like I said, I'm in my bedroom. The equipment is kind of expensive. So stay safe.